Okay, I'm ready, Susan. It's recording.
Okay, so the difference when you go and talk with someone is that they're not your friend, that there is together we are going to pursue in depth, if you want in depth, what is really going on with you so that you can have a more expansive life. Unconsciously, sometimes we don't even realize how we undercut ourselves or how we shortchange ourselves or we don't dream large enough. Oftentimes we learned to not like ourselves from a variety of experiences. And the point is to find out what has held us back so that we can fill in what we need and enjoy our lives. Not just be happy, but be fulfilled. And the other piece is find meaning. There's reasons why we have to go through difficult times, see difficult things about ourselves, accept difficult. He says, and grow and find meaning in the difficult times. So you're not just beset by some kind of awfulness, but much more, this is something I can grow from. I will learn and I will develop. And I think why I myself like Jungian psychology is that it really looks at the meaning of so many things. We would think, well, the meaning of, for instance, this recording. Who knows who's going to listen to it? Who it will touch, what they will examine about themselves. So it's not just a chance encounter. There's meaning and seriousness in life, and that we all really count as well. So I think that, well, there are many things in Jungian psychology. The meaning of symbols. So symbols in many different areas of our lives, the kind of car we drive, the things we watch on television and the internet, the different ways that we operate in the world, all are symbolic, as in meaningful. So each of the books that I wrote relate to a different aspect of one's psychology. And we have a lot of unknown pieces, which means there's a lot of mystery, and it makes life more exciting. So
I think,
yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
No,
Susan.
go ahead.
I was, you say so many different things that, it gives me a chance to really think about things in a deeper sense, with psychology, myself, and all that. And I think that would be my idea, as well as yours, to come across people that are listening to re-examine themselves, to think about what you're saying. But since if they do not know, how to approach this, let's say they don't know anything about a lot of people do not want to go get help. They might need it. So, and then, when you go, like you say, get professional help, and I'm glad you told the difference of an analyst, psychological analyst, which I myself, to be honest with you, I never thought. I go to a therapist, but I never thought going to a psychological analyst. And I think it's important for people to know the difference. And you did explain it, but I think that I think maybe go over a little bit more. But I because of the personal family issues and everything with mental health, so I have learned a lot from the professionals, therapists, and psychiatrists. And if going to a therapist is not easy, I've talked to many people that to find a therapist, this is the beginning. You have to feel comfortable,
Yes.
because if you're a lot of people do not like to talk about anything personal, and some people find it very hard to open up anyway. And then I think it depends on the energy of that person and how, they come across, when they're talking to them. It's a process in itself just to get to see if you feel like, you want to open up and talk with them. And I think, a person that needs, if they're going to get help, is to really feel connected, to that therapist. You know what I mean? And yeah, and that's why I get online is because I think it's important for people to connect socially, and because of the way uh, what's been going on in the world, and like for years, what's been going on here in the last 10 years. With COVID, even all these different barriers that kept people apart, and their traumatic experiences in itself, especially if it's men and women and stuff like that, and they would be afraid to even talk to somebody new. Or I just don't find people really have time or want to put energy in deep conversations. You almost have to have a special meeting with somebody like this who's interested and go with that, and it's hard to find people. But I really, I'll let you go ahead. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does that make sense?
I do. I do. I have a few comments to what you said. Um, so you're right. A lot of people have a difficult time opening up because they think there's something bad about themselves. And it is not easy to find a person to talk to who you feel you have confidence in and you can be open with, because you can't do work on yourself or know yourself without going into layers that are gorgeous and not gorgeous. I think the people, how you find someone is if you said it, you have an energetic reaction and you feel, I know I can be open here. Not easily, but I can do it. This person will understand me. The difference with seeing different people, someone might go to a counselor or a psychologist, mostly for conscious behavior. An analyst deals with the unconscious and conscious and unites the two. We we can't really deny that we have an unconscious life. A lot of people try to do it. Where it comes out is, you said it earlier, habits, addictions. These are signals, unhappiness, relationship difficulties, obsession with the internet. All of these things take people away from knowing themselves. And so a counselor or a psychologist might be more behavioristically oriented. An analyst will say, how are we going to find the meaning in how you are living your life? And if people are listening to this and they say, I don't want to do therapy. I don't, I don't want to. Okay, if you don't want to, that's your choice. I think you're cheating yourself, but that's it. But you still can remember your dreams. You can write in a journal. You can honor your emotions and your thoughts. You can speak honestly with the people that you are intimate with and close to. You can try to work out and communicate honestly in relationships, and you can become conscious of what our culture in the United States promotes about openness, honesty, truth, narcissism. How do we as a culture teach each generation to be themselves? That is a big question. And I think we are all up against it. And part of analysis is also saying, who am I? And what about my culture do I carry? And what about the generations behind me? What transgenerational issues am I also carrying?
I, I tell you that really I understand what you're saying. I agree with you. What you said that. And it's all about connection and understanding people and trying to understand yourself, right?
That's
Uh,
right.
but I don't know. As many people I've talked to online, they're all unique and have their own problems. And what I try to do is find common ground with everybody, and I try to break barriers between people
Yeah,
because if my mind is thinking about breaking barriers, not only am I helping get other people to think about their own barriers, what's holding them back, as
right.
far as connecting and self growth, that they have to be aware of how they understand themselves in the world and what's going on, their emotions and feelings. And if you want to, this is what I'm going through. I'm going through a change of. I've had time since I retired to analyze or just go through, what's going on, how I think, and my feelings, and being honest in my relationships. How to listen to different people more instead of wanting to talk. And if it's there is a difference between a man and a woman that's in a close relationship, and especially when we're all busy, that we lose connection on and a connection on the little things that I find so important. I recognize how important the little things are. We did say in a relationship, married couple, let's say that if a man's busy and the woman's busy, she might be more apt to want to talk to her husband on the things she went through a day. And then if the busier the man is on business and everything, might not think it's important, but it is. That's what I think that is lacking is empathy and the importance of listening to others on the little things. And that's where I think a lot of people must have did in the past, and I'm more aware of it now. But my problem is, like many, when you're aware of something, you want to change a habit, you have to put the energy and time in it. And that's hard. It's just like you said, if you have an addiction, that's one of the hardest things to change.
Yeah, it is.
Well, of any kind. And I'm working on that too on different addictions. Like when I go online, I love connecting with people, and because I'm retired in my age, I'm not able physically to do as much. So, in order for me, like many people with challenges, and they become overwhelming, and not to let so they don't get too upset over them or depressed, I call it self medicate on something. So it's either they could take the worst things, alcohol, drugs, or anything. Really, you can have a habit that consumes your life that becomes self-destructive, and it can be like you said, social media. But if you enjoy anything you think you enjoy, and you're not paying attention how it affects others, so that's what I'm learning and trying to help manage. But it's not easy, and I think that people need to not I really think if people look at what's going on with themselves, not to be not to be so judgmental and hard on themselves, just try. I think that if you want to practice compassion, have compassion with yourself first. Understand that you went there, but you can improve. What's in the past is in the past, and that's hard to do, especially with a lot of people when they have serious trauma, especially when they're young. It stays with you. And I think, to be honest with you, Susan, some people rather hear, they told me this. They said, well, I'd rather leave the past alone and not talk about it. I feel better that way. I'll talk about what's going on now. That's fine. They think you have a full life. But sometimes in the back thing,
Yeah.
something, and then it'll affect you in a bad way emotionally. And it really cause serious consequences with your mental health, and it can happen. I think if it comes up, it can. You can tell me if I'm right. Somebody let it go, and then all of a sudden, some triggers, and it can put you in some serious mental health issues because you didn't address it earlier. Is this right or wrong?
I think you're right. I think the other thing is that as we connect with different people, We want to be able to have the empathy for people who live differently, are different. That also means that we have empathy for parts of ourselves that are different than what we really know.
Exactly.
We all want to maybe be better than we are, but the reality is we are who we are. And there's something about accepting our own differences, which allows us to then also accept the differences in other people and honor them.
Absolutely.
And if people can live with, this one is this way and this one is this way, we actually have a more empathic and richer world. Exactly what you said. Those people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I also, trying to understand for myself, to have peace with myself and calmness, let's say. Live in the moment and not focus on anything else. So that if something beautiful is in the moment, I can look at it, absorb it, cherish it. And I think that's when you appreciate everything in life deeper. The beauty in life. I mean, if you do not, like they say, I'm saying, if you don't take time to smell the roses deeply, then you're going to miss a lot of what the rose is about and the fragrance and all that. So there we go, connection. You need a deep connection to everything in life to understand that, whether spiritually or what. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to, and that's what I try to talk about a lot, connection. And because these days it's hard because of all the barriers I say we have and stuff we grew up with. Our mind is trained to automatically react. Okay, so we have to retrain our mind. This is my thought. I'm not, I'm not a professional. For me, I have to retrain my mind to think in a better way, to be able to, just like we'll say Socrates, do critical thinking before I react on anything that stimulates my mind. If it's something that's not going to be good for me, think about it a while before I react. And it's tough because some of these things I think we've learned a long time ago to react to.
Well, I think you're right. And this is why the process of analysis is a deeper process than just a band-aid. It's not just, it is deeply understand why you are acting the way you are now and how it connects you to your past and to your future. Because it is not so easy for very many people to live in the present. People do all kinds of avoidance techniques to even the internet a lot, to not be in the present, to distance from how they feel. And that challenge to live in the present is part, you can do it better when you really understand who you are, where you came from, what affected you, how it has promoted your life, and how it has gotten in the way of your life. If you know those things and can accept parts of yourself, you can accept the world much better and be able to be a responsible citizen of the world, rather than just, oh, I can't stand that person. That's not being in the present. That's just being angry and not understanding.
Yeah, that's being really judgmental, and everybody might agree. Said, let's not judge people, but you do. That's because we trained to do. Because when we see people, we're afraid that they might have bad habits already off the bat. We don't even know them. So I think that we're too quick to judge without really knowing that person. We don't know if we're talking to somebody new, even if they're saying terrible things. They don't like what we're saying, and for no reason they're condemning us because of something we said. But we don't know what they're going through. So, I mean, there's a reason I think most people react the way they do with anger and stuff like that. And maybe they're just not aware and accept that to do something about it. So, why should I, as a human being, judge them and condemn them because of their bad habits, when all I have to do is not be around them. And we have that choice. If somebody's very toxic or not, going to, well, we're not going to benefit. As I think as we get older, we do want to be around the people that's going to inspire us the most in a lot of different ways. And that's what I look for, people I can learn from. And it's like you said, I'm really wanting to meet people that are, if they have more differences, then I have an opportunity to learn more. Now the thing is, I can learn from people who do, but as much as mine, they check what
Yeah.
how they believe. But then again, that takes enough mind because it's a volatile time right now when people express themselves. All a it's an emotional open space of emotional expression time where you just want to let go of your feelings and emotions without thinking about it. And it's terrible. And people do not want to be aware that yeah, they could be right on their truth, who's wrong, who's right. But you know, I think it's a bigger thing to think about. I think for people, it's not as much about as much as I think they can for themselves how they should understand. Instead of the conflict, how do you avoid conflict or solve problems rather than focus on the problem itself, what's going on? Because a lot of times, one person cannot, if it's in world problems or conflicts and stuff, then yeah, we can take a side, but that's like politics or anything. But does that mean that we're going to make the best choice? And does that mean that if you know, if, for us to be angry because other people do not agree with us? I mean, it defeats our human purpose of trying to get along and trying to find solutions. So, to me, we ought to be able to start thinking about in the future being more in the preventive mode of problems, whether it's health or whatever, and work on solutions together. And any way we can bring people together that can openly discuss
Yeah.
anything, then we become a human race that really is more intelligent, more they have respect to others and life and everything. I mean, that's my way. I think maybe I'm wrong, Susan, but I think that we defeat our human purpose by wanting to get mad and argue because we see things differently. When actually and then focus on what we have in common as human beings that are so important. We don't need to. There's so many things we can talk about. It's good that we have in common, no matter where we live, because yeah, I mean, we're still human beings. I look at you. You have a different life, but yet you're a human being. And then if we connect with them, there's things that we cannot. We eat. We have to eat. We have to sleep. There's things that we need to do that's common for our well-being. That's plenty right there, don't you
Well,
think?
it's interesting. So, one of the concepts in Jungian psychology is called the collective unconscious, and it's exactly what you said. We all eat, we all are human beings, we all have certain habits and rituals of life. We share a certain humanity, and you can see that in how we relate to each other. You can find it in your dreams, and the commonality allows us to expand as people and accept differences inside of ourselves, in our relationships, in the world. And you are right, we are at a very difficult time, which challenges us to know even more about ourselves, learn who we are, go in depth in whichever way feels right. So you learn and honor yourself and learn and honor other people as well. Because bottom line, we're people and we're animals too. So we have certain instincts, needs, desires. They need to be met. They're very similar. They're all kind of different, but they're also very similar. And if we know that we share these basic ways of being, it makes relating so much easier.
So and I agree with you 100%. Sort of like Tom, we're all human. We ought to share, what we have in common should bring us together and feel good because we've come so far evolved technology, new things, and all this. Compare what's going on now 100 years ago. My God, the advancement of how we live. And, 100 years ago, that nobody would dream then what we have now if they were here. And we ought to feel good about that. But then I feel that because of what we're going through now and the way we can't solve problems, my big concern is what kind of leader we're going to legacy next. So now we have so many young men, women, graduate young university. They see the person, young, and then parents, friends, everything they're going to talk about that. And they're going to care of what's making or they're going to talk about. They're going to be think about when level in the in my saying in my saying in a local way. Let it be part of the solution. It's part of this. And I just think that really the mindset of is from generation to generation. That's why history repeats itself from wars and all because we haven't got to the point where we know how to prevent war. We know how to think to have peace. We don't think peace. We don't educate peace. We don't educate prevention for health and to be out. We don't have a community, not enough community to support our success and our well-being. No, it's not a working. It's not. That's when I feel that it keeps us separated because we get lost. We go to a doctor, then maybe we need support and we're not getting it from our family. Maybe we don't get the enough support because if we have mental health issues and you get out of office, a lot of times you're not going to be able to have the skills to take care of yourself yet. And if you don't have in place, somebody that can support you on that, and you almost see like a mentor or somebody, a guide on daily to make sure that you can take care of what you need to do for your health and stay on track because it becomes a revolving door. You go in one door, you get out, and then you're back in the system again, and that's what's
Yeah, but
really
I
upsetting.
also think that as we learn about ourselves, if we really do it deeply, then we find that we can rely on ourselves. And the challenge of our time and how things are means that things have to change. So it's a very shaky time. But if you think about it, we all need to change all the time. We don't want to live every day the same as the one before, and we want to grow. But change is difficult. And most people, cultures, people, etc., don't do anything until things get bad. And maybe we are like at an apex place so that it's gotten to a place and now things can start to change, maybe go in a different direction. And it takes a lot of fortitude, which I think we find in our dreams, in our relationships, in ourselves, that we believe that we can do it, or at least we can try. And I think that that's what people learn in a deeper process is they learn about their strength.
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of therapists that try to do different types of therapy to go deep, and I haven't really been educated or learned how effective an analyst therapist can be. And now that you have uh, told me and the audience about what you do, it makes sense to me that you have an opportunity to go a little deeper because of what you've been trained and how you said conscious meets unconscious. That's sounds a little bit that sounds deep. And now I want to get on to because I don't want to take it. It is getting uh, But I have questions that maybe we'll go into. There is a meeting, there's a philosophical meeting, and there's I guess, more of a educational type, scientific explanation. Or I just want to know how you, what's the meaning of consciousness to you? Just consciousness.
Wow, that's a big question. I think consciousness, if you think about it, is a very difficult place to get to, because to be very aware of oneself and, as you said, to be present is consciousness. Consciousness is, I am aware of what I am about right now. The unconscious is what is going on underneath that we are not aware of, but is influencing our lives. And if you can bring the two together, you're even stronger as a person. But our consciousness is usually driven by you could say by the mind, rather than one's inner heart, you could say. It's the consciousness is a little more in the scientific realm, and it also reaches the heart. So you can't really have consciousness without science and heart. They go together. So it's not just cut and dried. It's there and to be expanded, because this is what you said as well. This kind of being present, caring about the world, that's consciousness. And that's our responsibility, all of us. But it's also to get in touch with what is unconsciously driving us.
I think two more questions for you. I'm gonna wrap it up. Maybe you can sum this thing up, because I said I think we covered a lot of area and a lot of different things. One I'm interested in. You focus a lot on dreams as a way to connect to yourself, right? And understanding them. So that is something I'm very interested in. I didn't know that dreams had that much value to it. Really, I don't know if people really understand that. But since as a analytical psychologist, and you wrote books on it and everything, what can you tell the people listening the value and the benefit of understanding dreams, and how? Do you just go to a psychological analyst therapist? Can't even to find out your dreams,
usually,
or what?
Even when people come to see me and they talk about their dreams, we always talk about, what does the dream mean to you? And this is what people do now. They will have associations from different times in their lives, or they will look up on Google or on the internet, what does that symbol in the dream mean? The golden ball, what does it mean? Or the tree, what does it mean? And so they take from the general information and apply it to themselves. So a dream tells you about yourself, and it also tells you about more than yourself. There are certain themes that each person has that are particular. Some people have dreams that repeat. They have childhood dreams. They have nightmares. They have different people that repeat in the dreams through their lives. The dream is a very easy way to know what's going on inside of you, even if you don't understand the dream. You have honored it. It's like honoring a part of your own psychology, and it enriches you very much. Yeah, it doesn't have to be complex.
I mean, okay, for example, I've had dreams quite often. Matter of fact, I like having dreams. So sometimes if I eat late at night, it initiates dreams. I don't know why, but it does. So when I have a dream, and it seems to be most common dream is seem like I'm traveled somewhere, or I went on vacation with my family a little bit, or sometimes I'm in I don't even know where place I'm at, but I'm afraid. So I don't know, what to do with it. And sometimes I'm thinking about being some kind of super super person with powers, like I can think I can fly. I mean, it's just some
Well,
weird stuff. And then what it is, I try to remember it. I can't even remember all of it. I want to remember. I only can remember bits and pieces. So I don't, I just use my. I wanted to talk about my dream. So maybe if you talk, think about for me, maybe somebody else can relate to it if it has,
yeah.
so you
So
can
let
get
me
the
just
meaning
add a
out of it.
couple of things. One is that, when you're in a dream, you can't remember it, so you've got to write it down somehow because they go away fast. And you can also say, when do you have those kind of dreams? Is it when you're anxious? Is it when you're relaxed? Is it when you're worried? Is it when you're depressed? Is it when you're happy? What is the mood around the dream? And what is the feeling in the dream? And when you don't know something about the dream, well, maybe it says, what do you not know about yourself? And what is unknown? And what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? So the dream sets up a conversation with yourself. And that's the point of the dream. You get to talk to you. Yeah.
That's the whole point of it. Yeah, but you have to be able to learn, that it's trying, the dream is
Yes.
trying to tell you
Yes.
something about yourself,
Yes.
what's going on, and connect to that. Just understand, it doesn't even, like you say, it really doesn't have to be anything real that you've experienced or not. It's just that you see what's going on, is to feel how you feel, the emotions with it, and
That's
something like
right. You
that.
got it. You
Is
got
it
it.
like that? I mean, yeah. So, you've got if you have fear with a dream, then you
Yeah.
can write a little bit about the dream, but it's more about you think more about the
Yeah.
emotion you
Both
experience with the
the
dream.
dream themes and the emotion in the dream and how you feel when you wake up. So it's like an accordion. The dream and its meaning opens, 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 and then you'll have another dream and it will give you more information and it will help live. Yeah.
That's cool. And is it related to the
Yes.
subconscious?
It's related to what's going on underneath that we don't pay attention to in our conscious life, usually. So you have extra information if you pay attention to your dreams. So that's what I meant. The unconscious and the conscious come together, give us more direction, more strength, more energy to be able to proceed in life and be present and enriched. The dream is to enrich us, even if it has difficult information.
No, that I didn't really realize that too. So I think you're just sharing that with me, and hopefully other people will be able to benefit as well and have that understanding. Um, Now, you say you talk about when you're giving therapy or helping somebody in the process of somebody learning about themselves and what they've gone through. The subconscious meets the conscious. So if you're going to, you have to go real deep to bring the
No,
subconscious
it's
up
right
to the
there.
conscious,
It's right
right?
there. If you have a dream, you say to yourself tonight, I'm going to have a dream. Boom, it can happen. It's like right there. You don't have to go too far to find the unconscious. It's there. Yeah,
Unconscious. About, I was
yeah,
saying
yeah.
unconscious.
Different words, different
Oh,
words, same thing.
let's say somebody went through trauma and they've always been, had bad experiences. They don't want to talk about it or let that go. Does that
Yeah,
go
it
into
goes
the
into that,
unconscious?
and it might come out in a dream only to help that person. Because when you don't talk
Oh,
about
okay.
pain, the pain gets worse. So that's why it comes up in the dream. It's to alleviate pain, it's to open what you're afraid of, and to let you know that you can deal with it.
I'm going to finish this conversation because I think you've been really wonderful spending time with us and uh, telling all about what you do and yourself and all this. Of course, maybe one day you can share your
Thank
experience, how you got involved with all this. but that might be too personal. But anyway, can you evaluate the what you said that people so they can remember what
Yes.
to think about? Because we covered so much. What do you think that they should think about for themselves and to
Okay,
focus
so
on that's
I'm
going
going
to
to go
help
back
them?
to some of the words that we've said. I think everything we're talking about is an attempt to be present in life, to honor what is going on consciously and unconsciously, to pay attention to one's inner world through dreams, to be as communicative as possible with oneself and others, and to honor the differences that we see inside of us and that we find in other people so that our world will be able to expand and change as we need to, and as you said, for the coming generations and for all of us right now.
Oh, that's wonderful. Um, I will say that anybody listening, put in the comments if you want to ask Susan something that you can pick up on it. Maybe in comments on the video, or to how to if they want to talk to you and leave some information. How do they contact
I
you? Or
do. I do. My
do you have a
website
website and all that?
is www.susanschwartzphd.com.
Yeah. How about they want to tell them again about the books you've written, so they might want to, if they
I
want
don't.
to, do you? You
I
don't have a
don't.
book with you, do you?
But
On the
all
books?
of the books are on the
Oh, okay.
website, and they're all on the website, and I have other
Oh, okay.
articles on the website, and I think some articles on dreams. Every single thing that I write has something about dreams because they are integral to knowing oneself. That's why.
Well, I think I am very grateful and really honored to have you as a guest. And I've learned a lot myself. I just so many things we discussed, Susan, that I'll have to review the video presentation. Then I'll be able to maybe think about more of the stuff we talked about. And I just hope that the audience can, like you do, some they can connect with that can help them know more about themselves and just
Right.
have a more meaningful life and have enjoy have happiness, everything, embrace everything in life. But I want to conclude that this has been a Socrates Cafe podcast, and that if you want to join Socrates Cafe online, you look for Socrates Cafe, um, and you can join the Facebook group, and it's all about philosophy and life. So, and like Susan and I talked about, Susan brought up Socrates. I think Socrates did play an important part for us as far as critical thinking, but also that his students, Plato and Aristotle, they were more the ones that wrote the notes, expanded on it. But if you anyway, I'm gonna finish up. I hope if you enjoyed the video that you can share it, and we want to reach as many people as possible so they might benefit. So I want to thank you again, Ms. Susan Schwartz, and I look forward to maybe when we think about have time, maybe we can come up with a
Yep.
breakdown to another topic, maybe one topic. So because there's so much to talk about, as far as mental health, the system, and everything, and people don't understand.
Great.
You might be able to bring some
Thank you.
clarity to it. So I I want to thank you, and I'll maybe I can see you.
Thank you, Les. Thank you. You've
Have
been
another one.
great. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.